Um, so I decided to go back and get my doctorate for a couple of reasons. For one, I love school. I love the educational process. I like studying. I like preparing for things. I like the organization that is involved with having to, I guess, manage your time and your assignments with school. And I also wanted to go back because I knew as at my age, I'm 33, so at my age, I figured this is a really good time to go back to school to get my terminal degree because it will have a really big positive effect on my retirement. Um, I'll get paid more to teach at Jones, and each year my step up will be better once I have my degree. And the we're required to have a class every 3 years anyway. So I thought, well, I have to pay $1,500 just to take one class. If I go full time, then I'll get a little bit of a tuition break, and plus I have the GI Bill that's helping me pay for school right now. And then if I even if I were paying it out of pocket, I'm going to pay that. Either I'm going to pay $1,500 per class every 3 years, or I can just pay it all up front and get that pay raise sooner. So it really just made more sense from a financial standpoint to go ahead and advance my career now. Um, the day before class started. Well, I was excited. But I was really, really nervous because my dad was sick. I teach full time. I have two small kids that are 6 and 2. So I was excited to be embarking on this journey, and my daddy was so proud that I was going back to school. So that made me excited to tell him it was my first day, but then when Canvas opened and I realized I was behind within like the first couple of hours, and I had to read the Alchemist in like 30 minutes so that I could start my philosophy assignment that was due like ASAP. I felt a little overwhelmed, and so I just had to sit down and take it assignment by assignment and plan my week that way. The first week was something. At first I thought this isn't gonna be that bad. And then I started printing all the stuff off for philosophy and looking at the page numbers that we had to read for theory. And then there was biostats. Good God, that was a feat in itself. I think the majority of my anxiety last semester came from biostatistics. And that really hit that first week. Like, it started all warm and fuzzy with the introduction videos, and then those quizzes every week that I felt like I would never get ahead. So the classes were Biostatistics 1, which I was under the impression we only had to take one biostatistics course. I had no idea that there was a second one. That might would have influenced my decision to go back. So there was Biostats 1, and that was taught by Dr. Anna Porter, and she was super nice. Very, very easy to get in contact with and extremely helpful, but her understanding of statistics was significantly greater than mine, obviously, since she has her doctorate in that. But I think there was a lot of things that she thought I understood and I did not understand. She worked really hard to help me last semester. That was one thing that I always felt sure of, is that if I emailed her pictures of the extra homework that I did to try to understand stuff, I knew she was going to look over it and tell me if I'd gotten it right, which I know was time out of her day to do something that wasn't required. So I was really appreciative of that. I had a lot of anxiety about biostats though, because the workload was unreal to me. The weekly quizzes that was a lot. And I don't know if that was just because of the stuff going on with my dad. It felt like some of the stuff that we had to answer was a little higher than the homework that we did. Like, I'd feel good about the homework, and then I'd have a quiz question and be like, oh, I don't know what that is. So I don't think I understood it as well as I probably should have. So then theory was Dr. Copeland, and she was super nice too. She actually sent me a condolence card when my dad died, and told me not to worry about my assignments, and that she would help me get caught up once I got in a better place. She was very, strangely enough, her father died a few weeks later, so we had kind of a unique little bond. But those assignments, I think what I liked about theory, which the topic is extremely boring no matter how you look at it, but I really liked that they were done in modules. And so we had, it felt really manageable because you weren't majorly shifting gears. So I enjoyed the way she had the modules set up, even though we had like 2 weeks in one module, and you had an assignment for the first week and an assignment for the second week, and a lot of times the second week assignment was just replying to your classmates, so you really had a lot of time to mull over that one topic. So I liked that. That workload felt really manageable, even though we had large papers to write in there and we had to do the voiceover PowerPoints. It, for some reason, did not feel unmanageable to me. And then we have philosophy, and that made my brain hurt. Dr. Story did a great job. Again, when my dad died, I could not have asked for better support. She also sent me a condolence card, and that to me, that means a lot to me that they did that. But she had to deal with some of my anxiety about being very particular about things. But after I figured out that, unlike theory, everything that we said had to be cited and we had to have a reference page and it had to be substantive, in her class it was just organic dialogue back and forth. And it took a little while before I figured that out. Once I figured out that really the replies were just supposed to be like talking to somebody and having genuine discussion, and not like this super formal reply with references and subheadings and all that good stuff. Once I figured out that, my anxiety about that class dropped a lot. But the workload was pretty heavy. Like, the number of questions we had to answer every week was pretty substantial, and the number of articles that we had to read, and some of that stuff was just way, way, way above my head. I think because it was so abstract, and that made it kind of hard. You had to think about things, and you'd wonder, is there really a real answer? Is there a right answer or a wrong answer? And that's just mind-boggling in nursing. It just really made my brain hurt. But I enjoyed the first paper that we wrote. The second one I didn't do so great on. It was bigger. It was a little bit bigger, but I enjoyed the one where we got to choose a book, and analyze and anyway, that was a neat little assignment where we had to do a little voiceover or video ourselves using Panopto. I enjoyed learning how to do something new. So, survival tip. One survival tip. Get organized. I had to get my planner, and every week, see if I have it. I think I have it somewhere. I do have it. This is my planner from last semester, and I did the only way that I could keep up with what I had to do was to have every week I just wrote that in the bottom so that I knew exactly what I had to work on that week. And for whatever reason, checking stuff off would decrease my anxiety. And it would make me feel like I didn't have the whole world to conquer. I just had a little bit to conquer. And that's probably the only thing that has kept me going, aside from the Lord. The second semester, I'm proud of myself. Sometimes I look at all the stuff that we have to do and all the stuff I have to do for work and then all the stuff that I have to do with being a mom and having a kid and Cub Scouts and baseball and a 2-year-old that's still in diapers. And I lost my dad last semester and I lost my grandfather last week. And it has been a lot. And when I look back at that and I think, how did I successfully do all that? And I know that all of it is because of the grace of God. But I'm amazed that I didn't psychologically give up. So I guess I'm just really proud of myself. The second semester hasn't been as bad as the first. I guess I'm not saying that the workload's any different. It's really not. But because I'm used to it and I know how to manage my time and just to eat a little bit of the elephant every day makes it so much more manageable. So, I'm feeling pretty good right now. Hope it stays that way. Might not after our first biostats exam. I may completely change my mind. But so far, so good.